Hey everybody, welcome to PBM's Video Entertainment, and welcome back to another episode of Thomas & Friends DVD Reviews. And in this video, we're going to be doing another Thomas & Friends movie review. And in this Thomas movie that I'm talking about is a Thomas movie that a lot of people in the fandom seems to be giving kind of mixed reviews about it. And I'm of course talking about Journey Beyond Sodor. So, without further ado, let's jump into the history of Journey Beyond Sodor. So, Journey Beyond Sodor was originally released back in August 22nd of 2017 by Mattel Creations and Universal Studios, and this title was also released over in Canada as well. And fun fact, this DVD is actually the first Thomas DVD to be released by Mattel Creations. Anyways, now we got the history part done, let's jump into my copy of Journey Beyond Sodor. Alright, we will now jump into my copy of Journey Beyond Sodor. So, here it is in all its glory. Anyway, so I got this, of course, when it was released and stuff like that. I got this, yeah, from Amazon. Yeah. For like, probably, I know I got this, like, it was probably like under the $10 range and stuff like that. Anyways, taking a look at the front post art. Looks pretty nice. Not too bad. On top, we have all new movie, Thomas Friends logo, Journey Beyond Sodor, the movie title card. We have the Steelworks. And if I didn't know better, I'd say either it looks like Cranky or it is Cranky. I mean, Cranky, he is the crane that works at Brendam Docks. He does not work at the Steelworks on the mainland. Anyways, so here we have Thomas, James, and a new character, Frankie. And Spine, Mattel Creations, and scrolling down here. Character profile of Thomas, same promo shot of Thomas, just like with the front post art. DVD logo, Universal Studios, same thing on this spine. And here's the back side. Here we have the three experimental engines, Lexi, Merlin, and Theo. And here we have some scenes from the movie. Here we have Beresford. Blurb, if you want to pause and read that. True friendship saves the day. Bonus features, and then link to the Thomas website. Here's all the copyright information. Hit Entertainment logo is still with us. And here's what it looks like without the slipcovers. Basically exactly the same. Nothing too special. Yeah. And the running time for this movie is 1 hour and 17 minutes. And the DVD, it is Region 1. And here's the disc. It's basically like a dark blue color. Yeah. And, of course, I still have this insert. Let's take a look at the insert. Here we have the same exact front poster art. And here we have the Superstation, which, of course, that train set is awesome. And here we have some Trackmaster merchandise from Journey Beyond Sodor. Here we have Journey Beyond Sodor books. They have a Thomas advertisement, a Little Big Club advertisement. And here we have follow Thomas and Friends on social media. And then Thomas Friends Minis app. Here we have little kids stuff. Some other Thomas home media products, Railway Pals, and Mini Steelworks. Which this one's basically a stunt set. So yeah. Of course, I believe I still have that. Yeah, gotta love the Thomas minis. You know what I mean? Anyways, Mega Blocks, and that's pretty much it. Let me put this back in the slipcover. And now we will jump into... now we'll jump into the menu tour for Journey Beyond Sodor. Alright, we have now jumped into the menu tour for Journey Beyond Sodor. So here we have play, scenes, language, and bonus features. Let's go to scene selection, like we always do. So here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 scenes to choose from. Next, here we have language selection, English and Spanish. Last but not least, here we have bonus features. Here we have 4 sing-along songs. Here we have Who's Thomas, The Hottest Place in Town, We Can't Do Anything, The Most Important Thing is Being Friends, and here we have, from Landmarks of Sodor, here we have The Mainland, and then here we have Top 5 Funniest Moments. And yeah, that's it for the menu tour. Now we'll jump into my review and thoughts on Journey Beyond Sodor. So overall, do I recommend Journey Beyond Sodor? Well, let's have a talk about the story plot first. So, what's the story basically about? So, in the beginning, we see Henry pulling a very heavy freight train that needs to be taken to Burlington Goods Yard over at the mainland. And so, as Henry was entering through Vickerstown, Henry had an accident. So yeah, Henry was sent to the steamworks to be repaired, and so Sir Topham Hatt decides that James will be the one to take the very important goods train. And then, of course, meanwhile with James, like, he was, of course, bragging, like, how he's Sir Topham Hatt's favorite engine, stuff like that, and that really, like, annoyed Thomas and stuff like that. And so, yeah. So Thomas, he decided to get up early and take the important goods train to the mainland. While James, however, he had to work on Thomas's branch line with Annie and Clarabelle, and James did not like that one bit. Not at all. Meanwhile with Thomas, like, as Thomas was pulling the heavy freight train, he ends up lost, and then he meets up with, like, two very old engines called Theo and Lexi, and then along the way, Thomas ends up in a steelworks where he meets two steelworks engines named Frankie and Hurricane. Frankie's, of course, the diesel engine, and then Hurricane's like a pretty big tank engine. And so they asked Thomas for his help and everything, and so Thomas helped a little bit. And then, of course, Hurricane took Thomas's freight cars to Burlington Goods Yard, where they're supposed to be. And so Thomas asks Frankie and Hurricane, like, if he can leave, so that way he can go home. But Frankie and Hurricane still want Thomas to work with them and stuff like that. And so basically, Thomas kind of became, like, Frankie and Hurricane's, like, prisoner and stuff like that. And then one night, Thomas decides to escape the steelworks, and Frankie and Hurricane try to catch him, but then Thomas, of course, was hiding in the woods, and so Frankie and Hurricane cannot find him at all whatsoever. And yeah, meanwhile, James, he decides to, like, leave Sodor to find Thomas and stuff like that. And then James went to as James finally made it to Burlington Goods Yard, he couldn't find Thomas anywhere, but he found an engine named Hurricane. And so Hurricane and Frankie took James to the steelworks, and so they kind of did the same thing with James. Like, they basically kind of made James, like, their prisoner, even though James didn't know that yet. He thought he was going to help him for a little bit and then head out, even though, basically, like Thomas said, it doesn't work like that, for sure. And then when Thomas saw that James was being taken by Frankie and Hurricane, or basically James was with Frankie and Hurricane, excuse me. So Thomas asks, Frankie, I'm sorry, I meant to say Lexi and Theo. Yeah, Frankie and Hurricane are basically the villains of this movie. Anyways, while, of course, Lexi, Theo, and Merlin are the heroes. Now, Merlin, of course, he's an experimental engine, a King Arthur class, yeah. And basically Merlin, he thinks he can turn invisible and everything, which of course we all know he doesn't have that kind of power, you know. But Merlin is a pretty cool engine, and he was voiced by Hugh Bonneville, which basically Hugh Bonneville basically was in Paddington 1 and 2. I only saw the first Paddington. I need to see the second one. Anyways, back to Journey Beyond Sodor. So yeah. And so as Thomas and his friends were helping James like escape, Thomas, of course, however, he basically like gets caught by that magnet thing. It was about to toss him into that hot boiling lava stuff or whatever you call it, and then he gets knocked by gets knocked like back on the ground, and of course Thomas is now saved and everything, and then Frankie and Hurricane like well, basically what happened was like Thomas, he was about to get his wheels melted by that hot stuff, and then Hurricane comes to the rescue and saves Thomas, but then his wheels started to get melted, and then Merlin saves Hurricane. And then Frankie and Hurricane were upset because they are now gonna get no help at all. But then Thomas had an idea. Lexi, Theo, and Merlin could help Frankie and Hurricane like work at the steelworks and everything. And so basically everything was arranged. The 3 experimental engines are now helping out over at the steelworks, and of course Frank and Hurricane are now basically the good guys. If y'all know what I mean. Like, if you've seen the end of the movie, you'll know exactly what I mean. Yeah. Anyways, after that, Thomas and James headed back to Sodor, and Thomas and James like apologized to each other. Like, Thomas said he was sorry for taking James's freight cars, and then James apologized to Thomas, like how James was boasting about he's Sir Topham Hatt's favorite. And then, of course, at the end, we all know that nobody has to be the favorite. So, what do I think about the story plot overall? The story plot, it was good. Not bad. Yeah. Wouldn't say it's the best, but it's good. Not bad. Anyways, now let's talk about the new characters. So, of course, the new characters, we got, of course, the 3 experimental engines. We've got Frankie and Hurricane, the Steelworks engines, and then there's one character I may have forgot to mention. It's a blue crane named Beresford. Now, of course, Beresford, of course, like every time like an engine passed through, Beresford says, "Who goes there?" It's kind of like the grumpy old troll from Dora the Explorer. Anyways, but yeah, Beresford, he's a pretty good character. Yeah, wouldn't say he's like the best character, but he's still good. And like in the CGI series, like we saw Beresford in Journey Beyond Sodor, and we also got to see him again in Thomas and the Royal Engine. And I'm surprised that they kind of brought him back in whenever like the All Engines Go era began. Like basically in season 2 of All Engines Go, aka season 26. I mean, I don't know. That's why I call the first 2 seasons of All Engines Go season 25 and 26. I don't know. I'm crazy. Don't mind me. Anyways, so yeah, Beresford came back in the All Engines Go era. Anyways, so yeah. And I also love Hurricane. I think Hurricane has made a pretty great villain, and of course Frankie's a good villain too. Yeah. Yeah, so overall the new characters, they're pretty good. Yeah. Wouldn't say they're like most memorable to me. I mean, well, basically with Merlin we only saw him in Journey Beyond Sodor, and then we got to see him again in that season 22 episode called Seeing is Believing. Yeah. And then after Journey Beyond Sodor, we didn't see Frankie, Hurricane, Lexi, or Theo again, which is really unfortunate, but it is what it is. Now let's talk about the animation. The animation is really good, and if I'm not mistaken, like after like Arc Productions, like basically the animation is done by jam-filled tornado. I think that's what it's called, yeah. Yeah, either the company Arc Productions changed from Arc to jam-filled, or they're just two separate companies. Yeah. Anywho, but yeah, overall, pretty great animation. Now let's talk about the soundtrack. The soundtrack's pretty good. I mean, the songs, they're alright. I think my favorite would have to be The Most Important Thing Is Being Friends. I love that one. And The Hottest Place in Town, that's also a good one. And of course, Who's Thomas? I mean, that song is alright. And oh yeah, I Want to Go Home song. That one's a really good one. And We Can't Do Anything. That one's good. Not bad. So, oh, and of course, James's song Somebody Has to Be the Favorite. Of course, that one's a catchy one. So overall, the soundtrack, it's good. Not bad. On to my final thoughts. So overall, do I recommend Journey Beyond Sodor? Well, I've seen like some reviews of Journey Beyond Sodor, and most of them are saying like that this is better than The Great Race. And of course, I would have to agree that this movie definitely beats The Great Race for sure. I mean, yeah, the story plot was of course better and everything. Now, of course, some people had problems with this mainly because of all now the engines are bouncing and everything, kind of like in Chuggington or Bob the Builder or Disney Pixar's Cars. Yeah. I mean, of course, I kind of don't mind that, to be honest. Yeah. So anyways, so what do I think about Journey Beyond Sodor? Well, I mean, this is definitely better than The Great Race. And, you know what? Why not? I'll recommend Journey Beyond Sodor. Yeah, it's a good one. Has a nice adventure, pretty great new characters. Now, there's one thing I really want to mention. Like, when I heard that Journey Beyond Sodor was only going to be released on DVD, yeah, I thought this movie was also going to be released on Blu-ray, but it turns out there is no Blu-ray copy. Like, it's a big shame because, I guess after The Great Race, like, I guess Mattel decided to do, like, no more Thomas Blu-rays whatsoever, which is a big shame. Now, I mean, well, over in, like, Germany, like, back in 2020, Big World Big Adventures, the movie, actually got a Blu-ray copy of their own. Like, what the heck, people? Like, I mean, it would have been cool to see, it would have been cool to have, like, all the Thomas movies, like, on Blu-ray. Yeah. And I know, also in 2020, like, in the United States, and possibly over in Canada, we got, Thomas Magic Road, like, finally on Blu-ray and stuff like that. Yeah. But anyways, my point is, there is no Blu-ray copy of Journey Beyond Sodor whatsoever, which is a big shame, because I gotta say, the Thomas movies, the CGI Thomas movies have been fantastic to watch in Blu-ray quality. So anyways, so overall, I'll say yes to picking up Journey Beyond Sodor. Yeah, it's definitely a good one, in my personal opinion. Anyways, that about wraps up this video, and the next episode will be on Christmas on Sodor, so please stay tuned. See y'all next time. Bye.